we had trouble identifying this. How long have you been here for?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Oh, it's actually been that long, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Time flies here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what was some of the challenge? So, what did we have to do? Why was this in your desk?
Well, first we had to find a model code for it because we didn't have one.
So its tag was missing here,
Yes,
and then we had to identify it by looking at it, right?
exactly.
Yeah. We put it on the test bench saying we expect to get to 10 gallons.
gallons.
When you put it on the test bench, it only got 6 gallons.
Yeah.
Now, what else too is you took it apart the first time.
The first time so I forgot to mark off everything that was being taken apart. Just rushing through it, you know, I kind of made the mistake of putting the seal the wrong way. So when I first did it, I put it backwards. I put it this way instead of the original way, which goes this way.
Where'd you find the answer?
In the catalog.
Service literature, technically.
In the service literature.
Yeah, but
yes.
yeah, Parker
So if you actually go on the website, it actually shows you how to take it apart piece by piece and then put it back together piece by piece. So you don't make any mistakes.
So I said to you, measure the gear width, and that's all I said to you.
That's all you said.
That's all I said.
And
I did not say anything else.
He didn't say whether it was from top to bottom or left to right. So when you measure the gear width, you're actually supposed to measure from top to bottom. When I measured it, I went from left to right. So that's where I made the mistake, and that's why we ended up getting the wrong gallons per minute on there.
It's one of those things where there's so much of this business that's really confusing that you try to say something, but 5 things kind of mean the same thing. Now this is a classic one here. You would think that if you had this dimensional object in there and somebody says, what's the width of it? You would think that they're referring to this here. Now, what they're actually referring to is the width of the gear housing. Now, it's the width of the gear, but when you talk about gear housing here, then the width becomes a little bit more clear. When you're just talking about a single gear, the gear width seems a little unclear. Now, what he's saying is that this gear width here, so from here and larger and a little bit smaller, that changes. This does not change for each frame size. So let's just take a look at each frame size. So what frame size was this one?
315.
The 315. So the 15 is the frame size.
Frame size.
So this and this one are both of the same series, the 30 series or the PGP 330. The frame size is the 30 portion of it. So as you'll see, the shafts that go in would all have that same left to right that you were talking about there. But where they change though, is they change in thickness. So this one has larger displacement than this one. So now this one here was a 1 1/4 here. Well, this is 1 inch. So this one here is 25% larger.
This part right here is what he's talking about. This little part right here.
Now, we ran into another problem on this. What was that one?
So when we tried to look up for a model code, when we measured it wrong. You know, when you measure from here to here, you know, it gives you that 1.31, which we rounded off, it's 1 1/4. And then once you measure from here to here, gives us that 1.66, where we take it 1 1/2. But then, you know, as Fraser explained, you know, you grab whatever fitting you're gonna use that actually fits on here, you'll get the most accurate reading with this template here. So, you know, what the computer was giving us in the catalog was actually correct, but we were going based off of what this tool here was giving us.
So the difference is that when you're dealing with these standards, if something says 1 inch, you need to understand, is that a nominal number? Meaning, are they just saying 1 inch because it's close to 1 inch? You know, it's smaller than a 1 1/4 and larger than 3/4. It's the 1 inch one. And the nominal stuff is where it can be very confusing. And unless you go and you look up the standard, and you can do that. This has a name of this standard here, right? then you're going to see those exact measurements to do. That's why it's usually easier to identify them based off of templates like this and so forth, as opposed to actually trying to measure. Usually you have to know what you're looking for to measure. And that's another reason why they don't say 1 inch often. Usually they'll say is 16.
1 1/4.
No, they'll say 16.
Oh yeah.
Okay, they 16, then you're not thinking that something is gonna measure out to that. You can sometimes find that with shaft sizes where you go in and measure and it doesn't come to the exact OD.
Exactly.
So what you do is you count the splines in them, for instance.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but anyways, I must admit I'm not stellar at fluid connectors either, but I think we're going to get very good with these. Okay. So ORB, what was it? 1 1/4 and 1 inch.
So yeah, we got 1 inch here. This is going to be a 1 inch and a quarter over here, and as you can see, if we take our template, that'll be that 1 inch you need, and that'll be that 1 inch and a quarter that you need.
And so maybe we should probably just get in the habit of 16,
Of saying
20.
a 16 and a 20.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about being here at LIFCO, that they actually give you all the tools needed to find what you need when you need it.
There you go. Plug and LIFCO. The guy's only been ordering thousands of fittings.
Oh my God! Yes, we have, and it's because we need what we need to make sure that we can have the tools to get these things done.
Hey guys, we got lots of new guys here in our Buffalo facility, so we're hoping to see some new content as we introduce them to the wonderful world of hydraulics.